Welcome back. I hope everybody is able to get this and is dry and doing well. So today we are going to talk about lesson 3.7, which is multiplying by two-digit numbers. There's a couple different ways that we're going to go through the same problem. We would like you to be able to do each of the strategies so that you can become more comfortable with one of them. Some of them are more time-consuming, although they may lead to fewer computational errors. So let's look at the first one. The first one is using the distributive property. So we'll go through this line by line. The first line, let's highlight the first line right here, just shows our first problem. So this is the problem that we're going to be working with on every slide. It is 621 times 34. If you use the distributive property and take 34, you break it into 30 and 4. So 600 times 34 is the same thing as 621 times, in parentheses, 30 plus 4. Then what we're going to do, because we know that the distributive property means you can just distribute that 621 to the 30 as well as the 4. We are then going to take it to the next line and say 621 times 30 plus, because those are our partial products, 621 times 4. And the way that we're going to go about doing this, I had recorded, so we will watch that through. So the best way to do it is to line up 621 times 30 on top of each other like that. You're going to put a 0 as a placeholder, and then you're just going to treat the problem as 621 times 3. So 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 6 is 18. So for 621 times 30, it's 18,630 as your partial product. Then over here, we're going to do the other partial product of 621 times 4. This one's a little bit more straightforward. 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 6, which is really 600, is 2,400. I'm going to add the two partial products up together, stack them on top of each other, make sure that the ones, the tens, the hundreds, thousands, and 10,000s line up. 4 plus 0 is 4, 8 tens plus 3 tens is 11 tens, 600, 400, 100, 8,000, 2,000, 1,000, 10,000, and 10,000. So your answer is 21,114. All right, let's see the second way how to do this exact same problem. This one might look a little bit scarier. Oh no. All right, I'll do this out. Actually, there, we saved it. So what we're going to do is we line up 621 for part 2. Hopefully this will work. We will jump right into where we were before. So right now we're going to do the 600 across the top times the 30. So each one of those, 100 times 10 would equal 1,000, which is represented by that little cube. We are overloading my computer right now. Let's do that. So then we have 6,000, which is the product of 600 times one of those 10s. Then we're going to group those, make sure there's 3 sets of them for each of those 10s. So you're going to have 4 partial products here. The first one is 600 times those 30. So you have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18,000 just in that one box. Then we're going to move over to this box, which is 10 times 10, which is 100. So for each one of those, we're going to have 100. So the partial product in that box, we would end up with 600. Nice tall 6 for you. And moving to the right, we've got 1 times 10 would be 10. Another, that same 1 times a different 10. And 1 times a different 10. So in that box, we would have 30. Moving down here to multiplying by the 4, and then we're going to multiply by the 600s. So 1 times 600 is 600, and there's 4 ones, so we are going to have to do that 4 times. So the partial product in this box, which is the result of 600 times 4, we've got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24 hundreds, which is the same thing as 2,400. Moving over to the right, we have 2 tens times 4 ones. So each of those tens times a 1 would give us a 10. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Let's record that partial product. 80 in there. And then we have a 1 times 4. Take that 1, 2 little guys, 3, and 4. Let's label that partial product 4. Then what we need to do, extend our page so we can add these all up together. Let's see. 18,000, 1, 2, 3 zeros, 2,400. Cross them off to make sure we've done them. 600, 80, cross those off. We don't want to forget any, but we also don't want to do any twice. 30 and 4. If I were doing this on a grid, it would be much neater. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and 4. 0 tens, 0 tens, 0 tens, 8 tens, and 3 tens, 11 tens, 100, 400, 600, 1100, carry the 1, 1,000, 8,000, and 2,000, 11,000, carry the 1, and once again, we have our magic number of 21,114. Let's see the next way, which I like. So this is called a lattice, and before we play this one out, I'm going to show you kind of how we set it up. So you're going to take each of the digits of each of the numbers you're multiplying by, and you're going to split them up. Doesn't matter which side they're on, as long as they're on the top and the right, and they're the same number of boxes to line up nice and evenly. So what you're going to do in each box is you're going to multiply. So this box right here is going to show you the product of 6, because it's on top, and 3. It's kind of where those two numbers meet. This box would be the product of 2, because it's on the number above it, and 4, because it's the number to the right of it. So that's kind of the way this works. I'll erase those so we can play it out and see how this works. Okay, so 1 times 3 is 3. You've always had to fill in a 0. Then we're going to move down to multiply it by 4. 6 times 4 is 24. The 10s go on the top, the 1s go on the bottom. 2 times 4 is 8. Fill in the 0, put the 8 on the bottom. And then what we're going to do here, once you've gotten all those in here, and we should really have, I had a 0 in there before, but it might have disappeared. You always put the 10s on top and the 1s on the bottom. Okay, and what we're going to do is I'm going to draw some arrows. You are going to ignore the numbers that we multiplied by. And you are only going to focus on the numbers in the inside. And what you're going to do is you're going to add them up on a diagonal. So these numbers are going to be added. These numbers are going to be added. Let's use a different color. These numbers are going to be added. These, etc., etc. If you had more than this digits, those would be added up. And you have to start down at the bottom, down here, so that you can carry appropriately, which is what happens in this problem. So 8 plus 3 is 11. You have to carry that 1. 1 plus 6 plus 4 is 11. Put the 1, carry the 1. 8 plus 2 plus 1 is 11. Put the 1, carry the 1. That is your answer on that side. You're going to have to rewrite it to figure out where you're going to put the commas. But once again, it is our 21,114. Let's take a look at the very last way. This is kind of the quick way that we like to talk about. So set it up on grid paper, and the first thing that you're going to worry about is just that digit 4. You're not going to worry about the 3. You're going to pretend like it doesn't exist for right now, and then we will come back to it. So the first thing you do is 621 times 4. 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 8 is 2, 4 times 600 is 2,400. So we're going to label that. That is what 621 times 4 represents. On the line below it is where we're going to write what 621 times 30 equals. And we're going to treat this like 621 times 3 and put a 0 as a placeholder under the ones. Put the 0 there. Very, very important. 3 times 1 is 3. It's really 3 tens. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 6 is 18. And those are your partial products. Those should look fairly similar, and we're going to have to add those two up. 4 times 0 is 4. 8 tens and 3 tens is 11 tens. 100, 400, and 600, 1100. 1,000, 2,000, 8,000, 11,000, carry the 1. And once again, we have that magic number, 21,114. And that is the last slide of the lesson, and I will record, hopefully this evening, your practice page. Thanks, and hope this makes sense. And I'd be curious to know which is your favorite way to do it. So let me know. Thanks. All right, one last strategy for multiplying by two-digit numbers that I'm going to show you right now. We're once again going to take that same multiplication problem that we've been working with, 621 times 34. What we're going to do is we're going to break up each digit just like we would be doing expanded notation. The 6 really means 600, the 2 really means 20, the 1 is just 1, that 3 over here is 30, and that 4 over there is really 4. Then what we're going to do is we're going to get 6 different partial products in each of the squares when we multiply them out, and we are going to then add them back together. So the first one, 600 times 30, use what you know about 6 times 3. So 600 times 30 is 18,000. 20 times 30, 600. And 30 times 1 is 30. Moving down to multiply by 4. 4 times 600 is 2,400. And 4 times 20 is 80. 4 times 1 is 4. Then what we're going to do is add the columns, so 30 and 4. 680. Cross those off to show that you're done with them, and add that comma in, 20,400. We've taken 6 partial products and made them into 3 partial products, which we then need to add together as well. Stack them on top of each other, line the ones up. Give us a little bit more space down here. There we go. And we'll run it through, and hopefully we will get the same answer, 21,114 that we have been getting. So this way you have to be fairly confident with your tens facts, but a little bit less room for error than some of the others.